Hi, my name is Kaydia and I'm fat.
Two friends from an island in the Caribbean set out on a journey to find inspiring stories told by the persons who live them.
So with a camera bag and an open mind, they learned that the best part of life is not the destination, but
The journey.
Let's start.
it's all on you.
So, growing up, I had a good childhood. I had a really, really awesome childhood. I have a very adventurous spirit, and I think that's largely in parts of my childhood. And I was my mother's handbag, and my mother used to love travel, so we used to just go everywhere with my mother. And looking back at some old pictures the other day, I realized how many things I did with family. You know, my father, my brothers, we would go all over the place. So I have very good memories of my childhood, very happy-go-lucky, very great memories. But there's always this one thing that just impacted me in a very significant way, and I think it carried throughout my adulthood. And it's something that I don't really acknowledge. It's something that it's uncomfortable to talk about. So sometimes I just pretend like it's not even there. It's not happening. I don't feel it, but it's, as I'm talking now, like my heart racing because I've never said it out loud. I've silenced myself for many years in terms of how I really feel. Probably people that are very, very close to me know, but generally I don't talk about my insecurities, my lack of confidence that I struggle with. And a lot of it has to do with how I look, my appearance, my weight. Even saying it out loud, I feel like our weight has been lifted off my shoulders, for want of a better phrase. But also I feel like I'm exposing myself and I'm being vulnerable in a way that I never anticipated that I would be, especially to people, strangers that may be watching this, people that I don't know. But I also know that as human beings, we are more alike than we are different. And so I know that this is definitely not a struggle that's unique to me. So this is my story. And so basically, as I say, I was very outgoing as a child, always adventurous, going all over the place, happy-go-lucky. However, at a young age, I realized the importance of your appearance, your aesthetic, how people viewed you, how people's words can really break your spirit and your heart, your soul. There is one particular time I used to go to an all-girls school, and so of course, you know, you're seeing different shapes, sizes, colors, different girls from different backgrounds, and there was a lot of comparison growing up. You know, I used to look at different girls and wonder why I never look so, why I never born and look so. Why I couldn't slim, why I couldn't, I don't know, why I couldn't brown or light skinned. You know, there are lots of insecurities that I had. You know, I remember in an argument or a disagreement with some other girls, they were like, you know, we're so fat, You're so fat we could have fry you. And they made pig noises, and to this day I remember it. Sometimes when I'm in a space, I remember that moment and I just plummet. Somebody who I really admire and respect and work closely with, the person asked me, your weight just don't match up to how your personality. You think how you look match up to your personality? They were asking me like they really wanted an answer now. I was blown away. I still get comments about how I look all the time. And some people are like, you need for done them. And I'm like, I'm not even going to go there because that's not my personality. I don't have that personality to be arguing with people about what they are saying to me. I think what I've learned to do is be kind anyway. Allow people the grace that sometimes they don't offer to me. Allow people the space, because I realize that a lot of people are walking around with smiles on their face, but they're very hurt inside. They have a lot of issues that they carry, as we all do. But we have up a mask when we interact socially sometimes, when we walk out, when we step out, when we put on our good clothes, our clean clothes, clean every day, them say. And you step out and you go into the world, you feel like you have to be someone that you're not. Because if people see who you really are, will they still love you? People's words, they can be very unkind. And sometimes I was just taken aback by how unkind people can be. I remember one day I was at home, I was just coming out of the shower, had on my towel around me. And my mother's friends came to visit, and her friend, the first thing they said, I didn't get a hello or, Kaydia, how you do? I got, how you look like you put on 500 pounds, so. And my mother laughed, and I felt bad, It was no, leave her alone, or, she's beautiful. Growing up, I never heard that. Kaydia, you're beautiful. I never heard it from people who were supposed to love me unconditionally. I love my parents, but I never heard that from them. I never grew up hearing that, words of affirmation. So I think I would seek it outside of that and outside of myself. It's not something that I thought, dig within yourself. I never once had that thought or, affirm yourself. Don't wait to hear it from others. I really wanted to hear it from others, was desperate to hear it. And so anytime I got any kind of affirmation, I clung to it for dear life, because it was few and far between at times in my mind. It was. I remember even going to my grandparents' house sometimes, and I had to psych myself up, because I know that the first thing they would say when they see me, you put on weight, you get so fat. And I mean, I know it's a Caribbean thing. That's how we greet each other. The first thing you do is comment on somebody's appearance, and you're not really thinking how it impacts the person, but it cuts like a knife. It cuts so deeply that sometimes I didn't even want to go out. I didn't want to be seen. I had a fear of being seen. And I think that fear, it stifled my voice. So because I didn't want to be seen, I didn't want to be heard. Or I would overcompensate in other areas. So I'm like, all right, if my fat, I'm gonna stay good. And that's all people see. So I'm gonna need to be more funny. I'm going to need to be more vibrant. I'm gonna need to be more outgoing, so that can overshadow my appearance. I mean, I can't believe I'm sharing this, but that's really how I felt for a huge majority of my childhood and in my early 20s, and this impacted even relationships, especially with the opposite sex. Because of course, if somebody even look on you, you're like, oh my god, that guy like me, Ray. You know, like, you're like, oh my God. You know, so I know that me personally, I've made a lot of bad choices because of that that need to feel worthy and seen and affirmed. I've made a lot of bad choices growing up in terms of relationships. Do I regret them? I don't. I don't regret a single thing because it has made me who I am today. And I embrace it, and I'm proud of the woman I am today. Along the journey, though, I have to acknowledge that because I sought this, I yearned for it. It was something that I clung to for dear life. And so if somebody even bat them at me, I would, be like, all right, let me talk to this guy. Let me, see what's going on here. And it just was like a ripple effect of bad decisions that I had made. And then the more you make the bad decisions, you realize truly that that affirmation that you seek, that worthiness that you're trying to get from other people, it is very short-lived. It don't sustain you. And I started to really introspect a lot because a lot of my lack of feeling worthy, feeling loved, really had to do with how I grew up. Not to say that my parents didn't love me. They did. I know they did. I felt their love, but I think I needed to hear that affirmation that I never ever got. To this day, I don't think my father has ever told me he thinks I'm beautiful. And or that he loves me. I know he loves me. I know he does, but I've never heard it. Interestingly, I have a very close relationship with my father. I do. But it has impacted me in such a way that I feel like I was looking for it elsewhere, everywhere else. I think what sustained me, or what was the turnaround for me, was when I deepened my spiritual relationship with the Lord. That had a big impact on me. There's also, something that happened in 2017 that I don't really talk about. But another bad decision with someone of the opposite sex. So this was transformative for me. So in 2017, a young girl minding her own business, living life. And there's a gentleman that I met when I was a young lady. I was about 17 when I met him. So I had known him from before. And he was older. And he came back in the picture in 2017. Telling me all the things that I thought I wanted to hear at the time. Because, of course, you're getting older, want to get married, want a family, wants to, you to be the mother of his kids, etc. And all of it sounded outlandish. And at first, there was a block I was putting up. I'm like, whatever, this don't make any sense. Plus, this person lived overseas. I live in Jamaica, so I'm like, this can't work. And plus, we don't really talk. We don't know each other like that. So how all of a sudden you're going to tell me, say, I'm your wife? That don't make no sense. But lo and behold, there was something in me still that clung to that idea that I could be it for somebody. And I think I held on to that, and it led me to, believe that this could be it. Even though there was no indication of that, this person just literally dropped from clear sky and come back into my life, and was in Jamaica for a week. We spent the week together, yes. And then we said, okay, we're going to give it a shot long distance, and decided that I was going to travel and visit him, and it didn't go well. So, first of all, I was very excited about the trip. I was like, okay, yes, if you're in a long distance relationship, you have to make it work. You have to show interest. You have to meet the person halfway. So bought a ticket to stay about 6 days and spend time with the person. When I got off that plane, there was so much excitement. You know, you buy up your lingerie, you buy Jamaican items, craft items, and you carry up a whole heap of stuff and you gift him and you're excited to see him. And I was so nervous too. When I got off the plane and I walked out, you're walking out, you get your luggage and you walk out to the area where the person meets you to pick you up. I saw him and my spirit dropped because something inside me was like, something wrong here, so something not right. It don't feel right. And I think that feeling continued over the course of the trip because, first of all, I was excited, but he was not excited. And when I asked him what was wrong, he was just like, I'm tired. I've been working 2 days straight. I'm tired. So at first, I chalked it up to that. And then when we finally got to where he lived, I never expected to see what I saw. But of course, I had my game face. And plus where you live and what you own and what you don't own, that's not me. I don't judge people off that, so it never even mattered to me. But I was surprised. But I say, yeah, man, I'm here to spend time and enjoy each other, get to know each other more. And, along the course of the trip, he was working a lot, always on the road. And so I didn't want to stay at the place alone. So I spent time with my friends that also live in that same city. It caused a lot of rupture and argument with us because his thing was, you came here to see me, you didn't come here to see your friends. And we had an argument, a big argument over it, to the point where I did just cuss and go on bad, which I hardly do. And I was saying to him, imagine I come here, you don't even take me for a walk, go see outside your neighborhood. You don't take me for dinner, we don't do anything. And in my mind, I'm like, I deserve better, and I know I deserve better, so why am I even here? And even though my friends were like, come and stay with us. You're here for another 2 days, come and stay with us. Don't go back there. You deserve better. I still went back. I don't know why I went back, but I still made the decision to go back, and I have to hold myself accountable for that. Went back, and it didn't really get any better. I remember the day before I left, he said to me, I have to work and I have to leave now. Please bear in mind, there was no food at the place. There was no food. There was nothing there. I was just in a room. And he said, I have to leave. I have to go to work. And ask one of your friends them to carry you to the airport. And I'm like, but I didn't come to my friends. I came to see you. And he was like, well, I have to work. And I'm not coming back. And I was like, okay. And he left. And when he left, I had a breakdown. I had an emotional breakdown. Mostly because I was like, why are you putting yourself in a position like this? There was no care. There was no thought to my well-being. There was no my safety, nothing. And I cried, packed my stuff. The next day I asked my friend volunteered to come for me and carry me to the airport, which thankfully she did. And before leaving, I saw a Post-it on a table, and I picked it up and I wrote some words of affirmation for him. Because my thought was, somebody who can treat you like that, there is a lot of pain inside of them and a lot of hurt. And so I wrote words of affirmation on the Post-it, and I posted it on his wall, and I left the next day. When I was on that plane coming home, I promised myself, I said, Kaydia, do not ever put yourself in that position ever again. You deserve so much more. You deserve the best. Do not ever put yourself in that position again. And of course, I landed, I came home and my spirit was just broken. Emotionally, I couldn't explain it. I just felt heavy. Because I knew that I needed not to do it, but I was heavy because I'm like, why did you?